If you're watching this right now, stop and look at the walls around you. Because one of those pictures, yes, that painting you've passed by 1,000 times, could be the silent thief stealing your fortune. You think you're working hard. You think you're saving smart. But no matter what you do, the money slips away. And you don't even see it happening. That's the terrifying part. The danger isn't outside your home. It's hanging right there on your wall. A single image can open the door to endless misfortune. A painting of a dead tree invites decay. A twisted figure brings chaos. A narrow alley rushes wealth out as fast as it comes in. Every glance at these pictures feeds the wrong energy into your home. Every day you live with them, you're silently welcoming loss, struggle, and financial hardship without even knowing it. I've seen it with my own eyes. Families drowning in debt, businesses failing, relationships falling apart, all traced back to one wrong picture. And I've seen how fast life transforms when that picture comes down. In the next few minutes, I'll expose 7 dangerous types of paintings that could be destroying your fortune right now. And I'll show you what to hang instead, to protect your wealth and invite prosperity. So before we go on, ask yourself, what's really hanging on your wall? Is it art? Or is it the reason luck keeps turning its back on you? 7 types of paintings that drain wealth. NUMER 1. Distorted, eerie, chaotic paintings. Look at the artwork on your walls. Really look. Is there a painting or picture that makes you feel unsettled, even if just a little? A face that looks broken. A figure that doesn't seem quite human. Twisted lines. Colors that clash and bleed into each other like a storm caught on canvas. If so, that artwork might be the silent reason your wealth keeps slipping through your fingers. Most people think art is harmless, just a matter of taste. They hang up a piece because it looks modern, or because it was a gift, or because they didn't want to leave the wall bare. But Feng Shui teaches us this. There is no such thing as neutral art. Every image you bring into your home is either inviting fortune or pushing it away. There is no in-between. Distorted, eerie, and chaotic paintings are among the most dangerous. Why? Because they confuse and disrupt the flow of energy that supports your peace, your focus, and yes, your prosperity. When you live with an image of a shattered face, a body half human, half something else, or colors thrown together like a battle on the canvas, you're not just decorating your space. You're letting chaos seep into your mind, your heart, and the very energy that surrounds your home. Every time your eyes fall on that painting, even for a second, your subconscious absorbs its message. And the message is never good. Distortion feeds confusion. Chaos feeds instability. Strange, eerie images feed fear. You might not feel it at first, but over time, these vibrations sink deeper. Your sleep becomes restless. Your thoughts become scattered. You start making small mistakes, spending on things you don't need, forgetting important tasks, choosing the wrong partnerships or investments. And little by little, your wealth, your hard-earned stability, slips away. I've seen it happen more times than I can count. A family comes to me desperate. They're working day and night, but no matter what they do, money flows out faster than it comes in. The house feels heavy. The mood is tense. When I visit, the problem almost always reveals itself on the walls. A large, chaotic painting above the sofa, or a piece of strange, abstract art hanging where the family gathers. A painting they've stopped noticing, but one that hasn't stopped working against them. And the most tragic part, many of these families didn't even choose the painting. It was a gift, or a leftover from a move, or something they bought on a whim in a moment of curiosity, never realizing the price they would end up paying for keeping it. Feng Shui wisdom is clear. The images in your home are like mirrors of your energy. If that mirror is cracked or the reflection is twisted, the energy that shapes your fortune cracks and twists with it. So what exactly should you look out for? Broken faces, paintings, or prints where the human form is shattered, fragmented, or blurred beyond recognition. These images disturb harmony and inner clarity. Half-human figures, images that combine human and animal parts in unnatural ways. They confuse the energy of identity and invite instability. Chaotic lines and colors, pieces where there's no sense of flow, no rest for the eye, just tangled strokes and clashing hues. These keep the energy of your space in a constant state of tension. Dark, heavy palettes, works dominated by black, blood red, dirty gray, or dark purple. These colors, in chaotic forms, feed heaviness and emotional drain. The consequence of living with such art is not instant disaster, and that's what makes it so dangerous. It's slow, it's quiet, a little more stress each week, a little more fatigue, a little more money spent without thinking, a little more tension between family members, until one day you wonder why your life feels out of control and you can't see the source because it's been right in front of you the whole time. But here's the good news. You can change it. The moment you take down a chaotic painting, you give your home's energy a chance to breathe, to heal, to welcome fortune back in. And you don't have to throw it away if you're attached to it. Move it to a place where it can no longer interfere. A storage room, a closed study, a space not used for daily living. Or if the image still calls to you, consider reframing it in softer tones, pairing it with calming art, or simply keeping it out of the places where your family gathers. And as you clear that space, choose something that brings balance, something that nourishes your wealth energy instead of draining it. A lotus pond at dawn, a peaceful path winding through green trees, a sailboat gliding gently on calm waters, a soft sunrise over misty hills. These images don't just fill a wall, they fill your home with harmony. They tell your subconscious, here in this space, fortune is welcome. Here we invite peace. Here we protect what matters. Before this video moves on to the next type of dangerous art, I invite you to pause. Walk through your living room, your bedroom, your dining area. Ask yourself, does this painting bring me calm or tension? Do I feel peace when I look at it, or a subtle discomfort I've learned to ignore? Don't let habit blind you to what's really hanging on your walls, because the images you live with are shaping your future day after day, whether you see it or not. And if you've recognized one of these distorted, eerie, or chaotic paintings in your own home, don't wait. Take it down. The shift you'll feel in your space, in your heart, in your fortune may be more powerful than you ever imagined. Let's move on and uncover the next hidden danger that could be quietly chasing your wealth away. Number 2, photos of the deceased or broken families. There's something hanging on your wall right now that may feel comforting. A photo that reminds you of love, of history, of a time that once filled your heart. But what if that very image, that memory frozen in a frame, is the reason your fortune, your opportunities, and your joy are stuck, unable to move forward? This is one of the most dangerous traps in any home. Photos of the deceased, pictures of broken families, images tied to loss, separation, or heartbreak. They don't just sit quietly on your walls, they anchor your space in the past. They hold down the energy that is meant to flow, to grow, to bring new blessings. Think about it. You want wealth, luck, health, all of which depend on vibrant, moving energy. But when your walls are filled with reminders of what's gone, of people who have left this world, or relationships that have ended, that energy can't move. It gets heavy, it gets stuck. Your home becomes a place where the past takes up all the space that the future needs to enter. I've seen this with my own eyes. A woman who kept a large portrait of her late husband above the family sofa, the spot where he always sat. For 15 years after his passing, nothing in her life seemed to move. Her business failed. Tenants came and went. The house felt cold no matter how warm the weather. When she finally agreed to move that photo to a quiet, respectful place, something shifted. Within months, she called me, her voice lighter, her spirit brighter. "It feels like a weight has lifted," she said, and with it her fortune began to change. Why does this happen? Because every photo is more than ink on paper. It's a carrier of energy. A photo of someone who has passed carries the vibration of stillness, a life completed. A photo of a broken family, of a partner who left, of a time you wish you could have back, these carry the energy of longing, of endings, of sorrow. When you place such images in living spaces, places meant for laughter, for conversation, for creating new memories, the energies clash. The space can't breathe. New fortune can't find a way in. It's like trying to plant fresh seeds in soil that's already overgrown with roots from the past. And the effects go beyond money. Children who grow up seeing these images every day may feel confused, divided, unable to feel the wholeness and safety they need. Adults may feel drawn into nostalgia, into sadness, into waiting for what can never return, instead of building what could be. Here's the key truth. Honoring the past doesn't mean letting it dominate your present. Love doesn't live in a frame on a wall. Love lives in your heart, in your actions, in the way you choose to live today. So what can you do? If you have photos of deceased loved ones, create a dedicated space, a small altar, a quiet shelf, a place of respect. Keep these images where the energy is still, where memory can be honored without holding back the flow of life. If you have photos of former partners, of broken relationships, store them away. Put them in a memory box, somewhere safe but out of sight. Let the walls of your home tell stories of hope, of growth, of togetherness. And what should take their place? Fill your space with images of the present. A joyful family photo from today. A painting of blooming flowers. A peaceful landscape that brings lightness to your heart the moment you see it. These are the images that nourish your space, that tell your subconscious. This is a place of life, of growth, of fortune that flows forward. Pause for a moment now. Think of the walls in your home. What stories are they telling silently every day? Are they stories of endings? Or are they invitations for new blessings to enter? Don't let guilt stop you from making this change. Moving a photo, storing it, or creating a respectful space for it isn't forgetting. It's making room for life. It's making room for the fortune that's waiting to return once the energy of your home is ready to welcome it. And remember this, the past will always have a place in your heart, but your walls, they should belong to your future. Now let's move on and uncover the next hidden force that could be silently driving wealth away from your home. Number 3, overly fiery, intense paintings. Imagine this, you come home after a long day seeking peace. But the moment you step through the door, an unseen heat rises in the room. Not from the sun, not from the weather, but from the very painting hanging on your wall, the one you thought added passion, life, or energy. A blazing red sun, wild horses galloping through clouds of dust, flames leaping from a volcano, or bold strokes of fire-colored chaos. These artworks look powerful, they feel dramatic, and that's exactly the danger. In Feng Shui, fire energy represents passion, action, transformation. But too much fire, especially in the wrong place, doesn't warm your home. It scorches it. It burns through harmony, patience, and fortune like a hidden blaze, quietly spreading with every glance. Here's the truth no one tells you. A painting filled with overpowering reds, oranges, or explosive golds can be like leaving your stove on high, 24/7. The heat builds, the atmosphere tightens, arguments flare up faster, emotions run wild, decisions are rushed. Money flows out on impulse, because in a home overheated by imagery, calm thinking has no place to rest. I remember visiting a client's home. At the start of the year, their business was booming. But by mid-year, deals collapsed, partnerships broke down, stress levels soared. What changed? They had replaced a gentle mountain and river painting with a giant artwork of fire and galloping war horses, thinking it would inspire strength. Instead, it ignited tension. Once they swapped it back for a peaceful landscape, the shift was immediate. The air lightened, the fortune calmed. Overly fiery paintings don't just disrupt the mood, they disrupt the energy grid of your space. When hung in living rooms, dining areas, or bedrooms, they flood these spaces with intensity, leaving no room for the softer, steady flow that wealth and harmony need to thrive. So what should you do if you have one of these fiery artworks? First, ask yourself, does this image soothe me or does it stir me up? If it feels overwhelming, consider moving it to a place where strong energy is needed, perhaps a home gym or a space for creative work. Replace it in your living areas with art that cools, centers, and balances. A lotus pond at sunrise, a misty mountain path, a gentle stream winding through green trees. These aren't just pretty pictures, they are energy guides. They whisper to your subconscious, here is peace, here is patience, here is fortune that grows slowly but surely. Before you move on, take a walk through your space. Stand before each painting. Feel what rises inside. If you sense heat, pressure, or a rush of urgency, that's the sign. It's time to cool the flame before it burns through more than you intended. Let's move forward and uncover the next hidden source of wealth loss hiding in plain sight. Number 4. Religious or spiritual paintings in the wrong place. There is a painting in your home that you may believe is protecting you. A painting you chose or kept out of devotion, out of respect. Maybe it's an image of Buddha, a bodhisattva, a deity, or a sacred symbol that represents purity and higher guidance. But here is a truth few dare to say. When sacred images are placed in the wrong space, they can quietly block the flow of fortune, harmony, and joy from your life. You see, spiritual paintings don't carry neutral energy. They carry power, power meant for places of stillness, of quiet reflection, of reverence. But when they are placed where daily life rushes by, where we eat, laugh, argue, and live our human dramas, that power clashes with the energy of the room. Imagine this, a solemn painting of Buddha's calm gaze placed above the television. A bodhisattva watching over a dining table full of chatter, clinking glasses, and playful children. A sacred mantra etched into a canvas, hung beside the wine cabinet. The energy becomes confused. The space does not know whether to invite stillness or life, and so both struggle to exist. In Feng Shui, harmony means everything has its rightful place. A living space is for movement, connection, building fortune through daily action. A sacred space is for pausing, reflecting, realigning with what is higher. When you mix the two, when spiritual energy dominates spaces meant for life, you create invisible friction. And that friction shows up in your life in ways you don't always connect to the source. Backhand index pointing right, the house feels heavy, closed off, as if joy itself is held back. Backhand index pointing right, family members grow quiet, overly introspective, unsure how to express warmth. Backhand index pointing right, opportunities feel delayed, as if your home is waiting for a blessing that never quite arrives. I have visited homes where wealth seemed trapped, where despite hard work and good intentions, nothing flowed. In almost every case, the walls revealed the reason. Sacred paintings placed above beds, sofas, dining tables, spaces that needed the fresh, flexible energy of daily life, not the solemn stillness of worship. It's not about disrespect. On the contrary, it's about honoring sacred images in the way they are meant to be honored. The divine dwells in stillness. When you place the sacred in spaces of noise, mess, and daily living, you blur the boundaries. And blurred boundaries in your home mean blurred pathways for fortune to enter. Ask yourself, when you sit in your living room, do you feel free to laugh out loud, to relax fully when the calm gaze of a Buddha watches over you? Or do you even unconsciously hold back a little? That subtle tension, that is the energy conflict at work. So what should you do? Create a dedicated sacred space. Even a small altar shelf in a quiet corner with incense, a candle, a fresh flower is enough. A space where spiritual energy can gather, where prayers and intentions can be focused, where stillness belongs. Remove sacred paintings from common living areas. If a piece holds deep meaning, move it gently, respectfully to this new sacred spot. Replace the empty space with images that support life energy. A blooming lotus, a peaceful landscape, a joyful family photo. Let your living spaces celebrate the living. And what happens when you make this shift? The house breathes easier. The energy of daily life and sacred devotion each have their place. Joy flows back into meals, conversations, and shared moments. Fortune, no longer blocked by confusion, begins to find its way in. I've seen homes transform from heavy and quiet to light and vibrant, just by moving a single spiritual painting to a space that matched its energy. A client once told me, "I didn't realize how much we had been whispering in our own house until we made that change." The laughter returned. So did luck, so did ease. Before we move on, pause, walk through your home with new eyes. Where have you placed the sacred? Does it truly belong there? Is it lifting the space or holding it still? Remember this, respect is not in where the painting hangs. Respect is in how you align it with the energy it deserves and how you protect the balance of your home in doing so. Let's continue and reveal the next hidden factor that could be quietly pushing fortune away from your life. Number 5, paintings of straight roads or narrow alleys. You might think a painting of a road is harmless, a long, straight path stretching into the distance, a quiet alleyway disappearing between buildings. At first glance, these images can feel peaceful, even hopeful, as if they represent progress or direction. But what if I told you that these very paintings might be creating an invisible highway that lets your wealth, your opportunities, and your harmony rush right out of your home? In Feng Shui, every image you place on your wall is not just a decoration. It's a map. It shapes how energy moves through your space and through your life. A painting of a long, straight road or a narrow alley doesn't invite fortune to stay. It creates a channel that speeds it away. Here, straight lines in Feng Shui are powerful. They move energy quickly, but too quickly, and that energy doesn't have time to settle, to nourish, to support you. A straight road invites the eye to travel, and with it, the energy of your home. When that road leads straight out of the picture, it symbolically guides your wealth, your luck, your good fortune to do the same. Narrow alleys are no better. They constrict energy, making it feel trapped, pressured, unable to expand. They create the sense that there's only one way forward, and that way is tight, rushed, and unwelcoming. I remember a family who couldn't seem to hold onto money, no matter how hard they tried. The father worked overtime. The mother budgeted every cent. Yet at the end of each month, there was nothing left. When I visited their home, I saw it immediately. A large painting of a long, straight highway hung right above the sofa. The moment you entered the room, your eye and the energy shot down that road and out of the space. The solution. We replaced it with a painting of a meandering river through a lush valley. Within weeks, the tension eased. Opportunities began to linger. Money stopped disappearing so quickly. The danger of these paintings is subtle. They don't create chaos. They create speed, the kind of speed that prevents fortune from ever settling in your home long enough to do any good. Ask yourself this. When you look at that painting of a road, do you feel invited to pause and rest? Or do you feel drawn to move on, to keep going, to never stop? Does the image give your mind a place to breathe? Or does it pull your thoughts out of the room, leaving your space feeling emptier than before? So what can you do? If you have paintings of straight roads or narrow alleys, take them down from places where family gathers, where fortune is meant to accumulate. Your living room, your dining area, above your bed. Replace them with images that invite energy to stay, to circulate gently, to nourish. A winding garden path, a soft river bend, a forest trail that curves playfully among trees. These are not just gentler on the eye. They guide energy in a way that supports stability, peace, and lasting prosperity. Remember, your walls tell the story of your home's energy. A straight road says, move on, keep going, don't stop, but fortune needs you to stop. To welcome it, to let it fill your space, your heart, your life. Before we continue, take a walk through your home. Stand before your paintings. Do they guide energy to linger or to leave? The answer may explain more than you think about why wealth feels so hard to hold on to. Let's move on and reveal the next hidden force quietly shaping your fortune. Number 6, old, broken, or faded paintings. There's something on your wall right now that you may have stopped seeing. A painting whose frame is chipped, whose colors have dulled, whose surface is clouded with dust or age. It once brought beauty, meaning, maybe even pride. But now it's something else, a silent weight pulling down the energy of your home, draining your vitality, your motivation, and yes, your fortune. Most people never realize the danger. It's just an old painting, they say. It belonged to my parents. Or, I've had it for years, it feels wrong to take it down. But in Feng Shui, nothing in your home is neutral. Every object either supports your energy or weakens it. And an artwork that is damaged, broken, or faded no longer uplifts. It holds your space back. It anchors your home's energy in decline. Think about what that means. You work hard hoping for progress. You take steps toward wealth, toward harmony, toward success. But the energy around you, shaped by what you choose to live with, keeps pulling you backward. Why? Because a broken painting speaks a silent message, one your subconscious absorbs every day. This is a place where things fall apart. This is a place where care has been forgotten. This is a place where decline is accepted. And that message sinks deeper the longer the painting stays. It clouds your thinking. It slows your momentum. It drains the drive you need to reach your goals. Little by little, it becomes harder to stay motivated, harder to hold onto money, harder to keep relationships vibrant. I've walked into beautiful homes, spacious, well-lit, tastefully furnished, and felt the heaviness the moment I stepped inside. Why? Because on the walls hung artwork with cracked glass, warped frames, faded colors that once shone bright. The owners didn't notice anymore. The paintings had become part of the background, but their energy hadn't stopped working. It was quietly telling everyone who entered, this is a place stuck in the past. I remember one client, a business owner who felt like his success was always slipping. He was smart, disciplined, hardworking, but the breakthrough never came. When I visited his office, I saw it instantly. A large painting of a mountain scene, once vibrant, now dulled and water-stained from years of neglect. The frame was chipped at the corners, the glass smudged with dust. That painting was the first thing clients saw when they entered. It set the tone. Tired, worn, forgotten. We replaced it with a bright, clean image of a sunrise over fresh peaks, and within months his business gained new energy. Deals closed, clients stayed. His confidence returned. Here's the truth. Art is not just decoration, it's energy. It's intention made visible. When that intention is broken, so is the energy of your space. So what can you do? Look at your walls with fresh eyes. What have you stopped seeing? What is no longer whole, no longer vibrant, no longer deserving of its place in your space? If a painting is damaged, don't ignore it out of guilt or nostalgia. Take action. Reframe it with care. A new frame can restore not just the look, but the energy. Clean it lovingly. Dust, polish, renew. If it cannot be restored, consider moving it to a less central space or storing it respectfully. Replace broken or faded art with images that uplift. A blooming tree, a clear stream, a sunrise, a fresh garden. These don't just brighten the wall, they brighten the energy of the room and of your life. Ask yourself, when I look at this painting, do I feel uplifted? Or do I feel nothing at all? Does it remind me of life and growth, or of decline and what's been lost? Don't let habit or attachment keep you from refreshing your space. Because the energy you live with is the energy that shapes your fortune. Every day you choose to keep a broken painting on your wall, you choose to let its silent message guide your life. And that message is not one of wealth, of growth, of joy. Before we move on, I invite you to walk through your home. Touch the frames, look at the colors, what's really there, what's really supporting you. Because your walls tell the story of your life's energy. Make sure they're telling a story worth living. Let's continue and uncover the next hidden danger quietly affecting your fortune. Number 7. Paintings of wilted flowers or falling leaves. At first glance, a painting of autumn leaves drifting to the ground or flowers at the end of their bloom might seem poetic, even beautiful. It may remind you of quiet moments of reflection of nature's cycle. But in Feng Shui, such images are not just art. They are silent symbols of endings, of energy that is fading, of life that is slipping away. And when you hang these symbols on your walls, you invite that same fading energy into your home, into your fortune, and into your future. You may not notice it right away. The effect is subtle, slow. But day by day, these images shape the atmosphere around you. Where you want vibrancy, they bring heaviness. Where you seek growth, they plant resignation. Where you hope for abundance, they whisper of loss. Think about what wilted flowers represent. Life that has passed its peak, beauty that is fading, energy that no longer has strength. Falling leaves speak of letting go, of what can no longer be held, of what has run its course. These are natural parts of life, but they are not the energies you want filling your home if you seek fortune, health, and harmony. I remember visiting a home where everything felt tired. The family was kind, hardworking, but there was a quiet sadness in the air. The parents said they felt drained. The children lacked motivation. Money came in, but it didn't stay. The walls told the story. Soft, muted paintings of bare trees, petals scattered on the ground, branches stripped of leaves. Everywhere the eye turned, the images spoke of endings. When we replaced those paintings with art that celebrated life, blossoms in full bloom, green trees, sunlight dancing on fresh grass, something shifted. The rooms felt lighter, smiles came more easily. The home felt alive again, and fortune, too, seemed to pause, to stay, to take root. Why does this happen? Because your home's energy mirrors what you choose to surround yourself with. When you fill your space with symbols of decline, you set that tone for everything else. Your mood, your decisions, your relationships, your luck. The atmosphere grows heavy. Motivation fades. Relationships cool. Money flows out but struggles to flow back in. Ask yourself, is that the energy you want shaping your days? Some people argue, but autumn is beautiful. Isn't it natural to honor all of life's seasons? Yes, but timing and placement matter. Feng Shui teaches us that the home is where we nourish growth, protect what we love, and invite fortune in. Let autumn live in your heart, in your memories, in the world outside your window. But on your walls, let what you hang there inspire life, not endings. So what can you do if your home has these images? Take them down gently. Thank them for their beauty, their service, their meaning. Then let them go or move them to a private space where their energy won't shape your daily life. Replace them with art that speaks of growth, of vitality, of renewal. A vibrant garden in spring, a tree heavy with fruit, a field of sunflowers reaching for the sky, a clear morning with soft light spilling through green leaves. These images don't just brighten a wall. They brighten the energy that fills your space, your heart, and your future. And remember, it's not about denying endings or pretending decline doesn't exist. It's about choosing the energy that supports what you seek. If you want wealth, health, and harmony, surround yourself with symbols of life, of strength, of abundance. Before we move on, I invite you to take a slow walk through your home. Look at each painting, each image. What story is it telling your space? Is it a story of life or of loss? And if it's the latter, ask yourself, is it time to turn the page? Your walls speak whether you realize it or not. Make sure they're telling the story you want to live. Let's move forward and uncover the path to choosing art that truly invites fortune, peace, and joy into your home. Pause for a moment, close your eyes. Imagine standing in the quiet of your own home, no distractions, no noise, just you and the space you've created around you. What do you feel? Does the air feel light or heavy? Does your heart feel at ease or burdened? Every picture, every painting, every image on your walls whispers a message. Day after day, these messages soak into your thoughts, your emotions, your decisions. They shape the energy that surrounds you, the energy that welcomes or pushes away fortune, harmony, and peace. What story have your walls been telling? A story of life, growth, and abundance? Or a story of endings, chaos, and decline that you never meant to write? The beauty of Feng Shui and of life is that nothing is fixed. The moment you choose with intention, the energy begins to shift. The moment you decide to remove what no longer serves you and replace it with what uplifts, your space responds. And so does your fortune. So tonight, as you move through your home, let your gaze soften. Look at each image with fresh eyes, as if seeing it for the first time. Ask yourself, does this painting support the life I wish to create? Or is it time to let it go with gratitude and open space for something new? Because in the end, your home is not just where you live. It is where your future takes root. Let your walls tell a story worth living, one of peace, of hope, of blessings that stay. And now, I leave you with this question. What is the one picture you'll choose to change today, to begin shaping the fortune you truly desire?